Hi, I'm Val Schober. This is Module 14, Case Study of Who Should Create the School's Vision. We'll start with the facts, summarizing the case study. The case study takes place in Lightview School District, a rural school district. Population there is increasing by 2% per year, which shows a need that they need more school space and space for students as they're growing more than they had predicted. The superintendent then decided, with the vote of the school board, to retain an architectural firm. This firm presented the superintendent and the school board with 3 different ideas on ways to create more school space. The superintendent decided on the 3rd option and brought it to the school board, and it was approved that they would build a new middle school for 6th through 8th grade. And at that point, they also decided that they needed to hire a new middle school principal. They put together a team to do the interviews, and they offered the position to Susan Potter. She is from a more suburban area as the new middle school principal. She will be employed 12 months prior to the school opening. The reason that they wanted to do that is because she would be responsible for these 3 specific objectives. The first would be making staff decisions, deciding on the size of the staff, how much staff she needed in the middle school. She would be doing the staff recruitment and the staff selection. And after this was all said and done, she ended up hiring 4 new teachers. And she said this was the easiest of her assignments. The next objective was to organize the school's programs, which included determining the scope of the curriculum, what extracurricular activities programs needed to happen, and what instructional approaches she wanted to bring in. And this is where the development of the vision statement is created. Then she also had an objective of collaborating with architects and construction managers, and that was attending progress meetings and to be involved in the equipment and furniture acquisitions, what is needed in the new middle school. She then appointed an advisory committee. This was for vision and planning for the new middle school. The team consisted of 4 teachers and 4 parents. She presented the advisory committee with guidelines that she expected from this committee. Those guidelines included the committee would operate democratically. Each member has a vote in the decision making. She wanted a consensus preferred method for voting and decision making, meaning that decisions of all members would find acceptable. The first task for this committee was to develop a vision statement for planning, program scope, and implementation. She also said that she wanted the vision statement to reflect a collective values and beliefs of community members and committee members. And the 5th thing that she guideline was that all stakeholders would suggest elements of the vision statement. She did make it also very clear that she did not want to be the chair, that she would be on the committee, but she did not want to be the chair. So Helen, who is a teacher and sister of one of the board members, agreed to be on the chair with Susan's help. And then she gave the advisory committee the first task, which is the vision statement. Then the conflicts came as soon as they had the first meeting. The committee wanted Susan to develop the vision statement. Susan clearly stated that she wanted to collaboratively develop the vision statement. The committee sees Susan as the administrator, and that's kind of what they portray as the person to lead, to develop these things and then come to the committee and the board for approval. So pretty much you have Susan's idea of creating the vision statement and then the committee's idea of creating the vision statement. So legal or ethical issues. I don't think that there were any legal issues that I know of or that I'm aware of at this time. As far as ethical issues, I think advisory board versus the principal, they agreed on a set of guidelines as being part of the advisory committee, and now they're kind of going back on those guidelines, as Helen had them very clear, and Susan had them very clear that what she wanted to happen. And the expectations of the administrator. I think this school sees the administrator as the leader and the one to make all the decisions, where she believes that it should be more of a collaborative approach to developing and making decisions. And pretty much that she does believe that the vision statement should be created collaboratively with information from the stakeholders, which is what we have kind of learned through this class, is about doing things collaboratively for a school. So I kind of came up with these two statements on kind of what we want to happen next, how to collaboratively develop a vision statement, and how to do this, or what needs to be done before the next meeting. So we're going to look at the facts. The facts are the people. We have Susan, the principal, the advisory committee with Helen as the chair, the community, which is all the people around, the farmers that are, part of that stakeholders, which would be also parents, students, the superintendent, and the school board. This takes place in Lightville Community School District, which is a rural school district in a rural location. They have seen population growth due to the district's, where they're at and where they're located, and the fact that it's 10 miles away from a bigger town, and the land values. In this location, there is a relatively new elementary and junior and senior high, which also might be one of the reasons why more people are coming and the population is growing. So with that, they have found that they need to build a new middle school. The program is that they need to build a new middle school for grades 6 through 8. It is a public school. The school board has the belief that the principal is the leader and should do all the decision making, that Susan Potter is a visionary principal, and that they need to develop a school philosophy, including mission and vision statements. So to review and prioritize, we need to look at what is a vision statement and why is it important. A vision statement is a clear statement of what the school is trying to achieve, so that all stakeholders, which means teachers, students, community members, parents, are all working together on one common thing. It's looking forward and seeking to motivate and unify everyone to achieve the very best for students in one statement. And the vision statement established clear expectations and standards for the whole school community. And then you look at what is a visionary leader. A visionary leader is clear about what she believes and knows what is best for students and children in learning, so that they can reach their highest potential. Has an image of a better school in the future, so is a futurary leader. Other characteristics of a visionary leader is that she is motivational, she's very passionate about what she's doing, she has good communication skills, she wants collaboration, which Susan wants collaboration when developing the mission or the vision statement, and a visionary leader is a relationship builder. So you look at who are all of the stakeholders. That would include the teachers and staff, students, parents and families, board members, advisory council, and community members. And how involved should stakeholders be? Kind of like what we talked about with the purpose of a vision statement, stakeholders should be involved in the vision statement, even if just getting their opinions and knowing what their opinions are and knowing what the priorities are, what the priorities for the school are. And those are the things that you can get from the stakeholders. Stakeholders will also help give direction for where they want the new school to go, and as far as with their vision. And you want stakeholders to have stake in the school. You want them to have a buy-in in the school and the principal and what the school priorities are. And I did like what Susan said in this article, that the new middle school is not mine, it's ours, and we all have a duty to shape the future. which is why you want stakeholders to be involved. A mission statement versus a vision statement. The mission statement is pretty much the objectives and its approach to reach, how to reach the objective, whereas a vision statement is the desired future for the school. So the mission is what we're currently doing, the vision is the ultimate goal. So you need, the mission is pretty much what is done in order to achieve the vision statement. So the main focus now should be the vision statement. So you have the broad statement and then you will get the objectives underneath it. And what does data show? That is something we don't know. And I think that is something that we need to know to move forward with developing a vision statement. Some of the options, the first would be like not making any decision yet, going to the next meeting with no decision, creating a vision statement and bringing that to the board. And third is gathering information, discussing the situation option with the mentor, get to know the advisory board, other alternatives to develop the vision statement, and look at the available data. As far as not making a decision yet, the pros would be you wouldn't be rushing into anything. You can look at other options. Cons would be you're not able to move forward with planning, so you kind of be at a standstill. And as a principal, you may look a little more indecisive and not as a leader. Creating a vision statement to bring to the board now, you would be leading as they are wanting you to. You would gain trust with the advisory committee because you're doing what they are asking you to do. Your first task will be completed. The cons would be not following the set guidelines which you had stated at the beginning. And what if the vision statement is not approved or not what the advisory council or the board members want? The next is gathering more information. The pros would be utilizing your resources, utilizing data, getting to know the community. The cons would be vision statement not written first. So you'd be, gathering more information, and you may have some negative opinions from the board and the advisory committee because you are not creating the vision statement as they had wished. So for what I thought the best option was to gather more information. I would discuss with the mentor, get to know the board members and stakeholders, and look at data, which I'll discuss a little bit more next. So as far as implementing my decision, the first thing I would do after the meeting is talk to my mentor, get information from my mentor on just some different suggestions and different strategies, maybe some things that I have missed or overlooked that I need to look at. Then I would like to meet individually with the advisory committee and see kind of what their priorities are. What do they see for the future for the school? Kind of get some vision statement ideas just from meeting with them, and get to know your school board members. I think relationship building is huge. One of the things that I've learned through this class is you don't want to go in and make just tons of changes right away. You want to kind of sit back and gather information and use that information to move forward. And I think that is what you need to do as far as meeting with them, get to know them, ask them what they think the school needs, the direction they would like to see the school move towards. Meeting with the other principals, meet with the elementary school principal and meeting with the high school principal to see what their vision statements are, what are their missions, and maybe that is something you can embed into your vision statement that you would like to have for the middle school. And I think too, we need to gather more data. We need to look at, like I said, the elementary school, the high school vision statements, look at student achievement, look at student progress, look at statewide data. I think it's important to know what kind of goals need to be made in order to look at what vision statement needs to be made. So that those are some things those are kind of the first 4 steps that I would do next. And I think doing these steps, kind of what's next, you need to do all these steps and take all the information that you have gathered to bring it all together, kind of have some ideas with all of that information. So maybe going into the next board, the next advisory committee, you can go in with some suggestions on different approaches and different possible vision statements, and then they can add their information. So that's kind of where I come up with kind of what's next and with this module.